Hey everyone, today we will be going over 10 modern 2D spooky games from my PS4 collection from a few different genres. Starting with Ghost Parade, which is an action-adventure game where you play as a young girl named Sui, who gets lost in a forest and must team up with ghosts to save their home from destruction. The game is based on Indonesian mythology and folklore, featuring beautiful art and character designs, and allows players to interact with up to 70 spirits, with 30 available as companions. Ghost Parade has a handful of flaws, but it is still a great pick for this time of year. It is just a basic 2D platformer with Metroidvania elements. The story and art were by far my favorite parts of the game. The controls and clunkiness of the movement was my least favorite, but still very tolerable most of the time. This game features a leveling up system which almost always makes these kind of games so much more enjoyable for me to play through even if they have other problems like this one does. It's far from perfect, but I still had a mostly fantastic time. The controls are a bit strange for a 2D platformer, considering you can't use the D-pad to move. Despite its flaws, it is still a ton of fun to play, especially this time of year. GUNBORG: Dark Matters is a fast-paced, 80s-inspired arcade-style action platformer where players control a character with a blade and shield to fight through an alien spaceship, using a variety of enemy weapons and a powerful shield to deflect attacks. The game features skill-based gameplay, a synthwave soundtrack, and a quick respawn cycle, though some reviews note it can be short and lacks variety. Alright, I'm going to be completely honest on this one. Since getting footage has been painful, I don't know how the hell I beat this game before, but I definitely did. I'll even probably show my trophy at the end if I remember to prove it, because this is insanely difficult compared to what I remember. Let's start with the controls. They are very unique. The face buttons do absolutely nothing from what I can tell. You move with the left stick and aim with the right stick, which is simple enough, but here are the more difficult parts for me to wrap my head around. The left trigger jumps. Left bumper does nothing as far as I can tell. Right bumper is the shield, and right trigger is your melee attack. When I played this the first time, I do remember getting used to those controls after a while, but I thought the stages were easier. It's a very fun, crazy action game though, with very scary moments, as you can see since I died constantly. The Dark Thrones Witch Hunter Double Pack is a product line that bundles two 2D endless runner video games, Dark Thrones and Witch Hunter. In Dark Thrones, players control an assassin, while in Witch Hunter, they play as a monster slayer. Both games involve navigating obstacles, defeating enemies, and collecting coins to purchase upgrades. I don't have too much to say about this double pack. They are pretty decent, very basic auto runners if you are into that sort of thing. They share a ton of spooky vibes between the two, and they are great for quick pick up and play sessions. I mainly purchased it because it was a super cheap physical game at the time, and I may have needed to spend a few bucks for free shipping or something, which is usually how I end up with titles like this that don't usually fit in my collection. After getting footage for these, I can honestly say I don't regret the purchase. They may look basic and cheap, and they were most likely mobile games first, but that doesn't change the fact that they are fun. I actually enjoyed trying both games out. The music and art was great in my opinion, and controls are easy enough. Check these out if you need a good time killer this holiday season. NONGUNZ Doppelganger Edition is a nihilistic action platforming roguelike game. It is a remastered version of the original game, featuring new modes like local co-op and arena mode. The game is known for its challenging, obscure gameplay and unique black and white pixel art style. This game is such a beautiful piece of art. I definitely need to practice it a bit since I haven't really played it yet, but I just love looking at the black and white aesthetic. It is so beautiful and unique. The gameplay is very challenging and addicting. Each run is drastically different than the previous one. My first run, I got destroyed immediately, and my second ended up being much nicer in the beginning. I actually stayed alive for more than a minute, which is probably a new record for me on this game. If you need a challenging game with a spooky aesthetic this holiday season, check this game out. VALFARIS is a 2D action platformer with a heavy metal and sci-fi theme, where players control the protagonist, Therion, as he returns to the fortress of VALFARIS to uncover its dark secrets. The game is known for its brutal combat, handcrafted pixel art, and a soundtrack by extreme metaler Kurt Victor Bryan. I don't know who that is, but the soundtrack sure is great. This is another insanely difficult one with a beautiful, disgusting, spooky aesthetic. Thankfully, it gives tons of options for checkpoints, and even though you will die a ton, there shouldn't be too much backtracking unless you just forget to make a checkpoint or something. The controls are easy to get the hang of, and everything runs very quick and smoothly. SKUL, the Hero Slayer, is a roguelike action platformer where players control a small skeleton named Skull to save the Demon King from an army of heroes. The game features fast-paced side-scrolling combat and a unique head-swapping mechanic, allowing players to change Skull's abilities by equipping different skulls. This is another very addicting roguelike with very fun, fast combat and a completely different run every time. The art style has many spooky vibes, and this game is a bit painful at times, so I figured it's a great pickup for this time of year. Death's Gambit Afterlife is a hardcore 2D action RPG platformer with Metroidvania elements, where you play as an agent of death in the world of Cyrodion. The expanded Afterlife edition includes new levels, bosses, weapons, and mechanical overhauls, offering a challenging experience with deep RPG customization and a non-linear world to explore. It is often compared to the Dark Souls series for its combat and atmosphere, but with its own unique humor and storytelling. This is near the top of my backlog. I really need to beat it sometime soon. I've only played a few minutes so far, but have really enjoyed the aesthetic and the fluid, painful controls. If only I had more time to beat these before Halloween. I guess I'll have to celebrate a bit later than usual. Sundered Eldritch Edition is a hand-drawn 2D action platformer with Metroidvania and roguelike elements, developed by Thunder Lotus Games. Players control Esh, a wanderer in a Lovecraftian-inspired world who must fight hordes of enemies and giant bosses in a constantly changing environment. The Eldritch Edition includes the Magnet of the Gong update, which adds a local co-op for up to 4 players. I'm so glad I had to get footage for this game. I completely forgot what a beautiful piece of art this game is. It is very vibrant at times and dark and spooky at others. The movement. This is one of the best, most unique Metroidvanias I've ever played, and it is especially perfect for this time of year. Source of Madness is a side-scrolling, dark-action roguelite video game with a Lovecraftian theme, which features procedurally generated monsters created with AI machine learning, a focus on close combat magic, and exploration of ever-changing environments. Players take on the role of an acolyte, exploring the lone lands to uncover secrets and defeat monstrous creatures. This one is definitely unique to say the least. It's beautiful in its own disgusting way. The controls and enemies are everything is super floaty and weird, but not in a terrible way. It will just take some getting used to, for sure. I haven't made it far at all yet, but I plan to put more time into this one somewhat soon, after I beat a few of the less weird, confusing ones first. We are going to end on a very strong note. Tales of Iron is an action role-playing game where players control an anthropomorphic rat heir who must reclaim his kingdom from an invasion of frogs. The game features hand-drawn art, a challenging combat system inspired by the Souls-like genre, and a story narrated by Doug Cockle. Players can explore a variety of biomes, customize their combat style, and engage in brutal, parry-based combat. This is by far one of my favorite biggest surprises I've ever played. Originally went in with no expectations and ended up falling in love with it immediately. The aesthetic is fantastic. The controls and overall gameplay are great for any type of player. It has 3 different difficulty modes to suit everyone, which is great since this is technically a Souls-like game in ways. I appreciate any that offer difficulty options. I remember beating it in just a couple days when I first played it. It is a bit short, but other than that, I think it's perfect and it is getting a sequel soon. I can't wait to check that out as soon as possible. Leave any of your suggestions you have down below, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.
Like he had for months. Now it was here. He better be ready.